a show. It's a podcast show. Welcome to the Julie Cross Podcast Show. Empowering, energising and entertaining. Hi friends, Julie Cross here. Welcome to the podcast show. You know, not long since we've had our election, and during the election there was lots of focus and as there should be, on our economic health in our country and what we're doing for our economic health. And we want to be strong economically and how important it is that we are economically strong. But I'm already feeling a little bit emotional talking about this because you know what my big concern is? I'm more concerned at the moment in our country and the people in it about our emotional health, because that economic focus then kind of is a focus of families as well. We are more focused, I think, as families on our economic health instead of the emotional health of our families. And I think we're about to pay a big price for that in society. Because while we keep hearing about our economic well-being as a society, we're getting more and more emotionally and mentally sick. And I wonder who's listening and who is looking after that. Because you see, what is the good of economic riches when people are too emotionally unwell to embrace what is great and too mentally sick to appreciate how rich they actually are? And so we're getting depression and anxiety. And then this flows onto families. In the family unit, it seems we are more concerned about our economic health than our mental, emotional and spiritual health and that of our children's. You see, I don't care what suburb you live in. I'm just grateful you invited me into your home to share laughter, fun, connection and conversation. You see, I don't care what kind of car you drive on your travels. I'm more interested in the travels you've taken on life's journey and the fun, laughter and learning you had along the way. You see, in the end, nobody will be concerned about the brand of clothes that you wore. That will not be celebrated. We'll be more interested in the person who was in them and who they were and how they affected and connected to their family, their friends and the people around them. And I don't need to know where your kids go to school and how economically well you're doing in that area. I'm more interested in what you do for fun as a family and what lights your children up, and what they end up achieving in life will not rest on how much you paid for them to go to school. You see, you can't buy success, peace, happiness, health, joy. Well, you may be able to buy it for the hit, but not for long term, because you're always going to have to come back home after the glitzy holiday. Can you appreciate your view at home as much as your view on holidays? Oh, yes, but I did see your photos on Facebook of your wonderful family overseas holiday. But you see, I'm just as excited to hear about what you talk about around the dinner table every night as a family. And I'm happy that your son got an OP1. Absolutely, that should be celebrated. But I was really proud and touched when I saw him help the elderly lady across the road the other day. Now, that's an OP1 in my eyes. And I do love all your new furniture. But I was really touched to hear how you and your hubby lovingly restored that gorgeous cabinet that belonged to your mum. Yeah, I could see you really light up when you talked about that. Oh, so your son got his licence and you got him a new car. That's great. Oh, yes, I do understand you wanted to keep him physically safer by buying him a good car, or that is our excuse. But you see, he would have got emotionally stronger by buying it himself. Economic health is fine. But I do think that the pendulum may have swung a little too far, and we are paying a huge price with our emotional and mental health trying to maintain our economic health to look good for the neighbours. And we are seeing the result of that in society right now. So I think it's time to even things up. I think it's time we started taking a little closer look at our emotional and mental health as opposed to just our economic health. And if you're paying too big of a price to maintain your economic health, so much so that it affects your emotional and mental health of you and your children and your family, then we need to balance the scales a little bit, or we're going to pay a big price in society moving forward. Well, that's just my thoughts on it. So look after you today and look after your hearts and not just your wallets. Thank you.
Love to hear your thoughts about this show, or if there is something that you would love discussed on the Julie Cross podcast show, then please head over to iTunes and leave a review. Love to hear from you.